Hello, hello. This is a my artifact episode number 4150. Today's date is July 10, 2026. It's been almost like a night at exactly 9:39 p.m. All right, let's just jump into the question. Let's go. All right. So, question is, how will you audit AI fairness? Oh, that's really good question. All right, yeah. First of all, what exactly is this question, and why am I asking this question to myself? I wanted to build an application called My Artifact. What exactly is this application? When you write the diary every single day, you cannot able to be write the diary the way that you want it to. The reason is that your thought process are actually much more faster than your writing speed. Your writing speed is slow is because of you need a pen, you need a paper, you need a convenience, and even after that, you need to put lot of amount of effort to write the diary. And because of it, it required so much amount of effort. So many people are not writing a diary, or almost no one's actually write a diary, like nothing really at all. But what if instead of writing a diary, what if we could record a diary, like a audio recorder diary? The stuff that you are kind of like listening right now, this is my audio diary. I called it My Artifact episode number 4100 and sorry, I called it My Artifact. My Artifact episode number 4149, 50 something, I don't know. I am doing this thing for past 11 year. I am doing this thing every single day. Because of writing a diary is a self-reflection process, so as recording a diary, so as recording artifact is a self-reflection process. It add so much amount of value inside of me. The person that I became today, the person that I will become tomorrow, it is all because of artifact. The amount of value it add inside of me, I wanted to share this value. How do I supposed to share this value? By building an application. My application is somewhat something like a YouTube platform. In a YouTube, like you actually upload your video, other people sees your video, same thing. You record your artifact, upload your artifact in artifact platform, other people kind of like a listen your artifact. There is only one catch, is that your name is always kept hidden. Like my real name is Saurabh Authare, but my artifact handle name would be Prozac 1943. Before I wanted to build this application, I wanted to aware of all the possible consequences, specifically worst possible consequences. I went to ChatGPT, I tell my app idea, tell him that he suggests me hundreds of possible consequences in question format. ChatGPT kind of like suggests me hundreds of questions. This is one of those questions. Now regarding about this question says, how will you audit the AI fairness? It's mean like that, na? Ki like, okay, fairness. Let's talk about the fairness. Okay, yeah. Fairness means what? Fairness means what? Ki like basically everyone are kind of like giving the equal rights regarding about who they are, what they are, and things and that, right? So in my platform, does everyone kind of like get equal rights? Well, basically, is this thing that ki no, it's not. Not everyone kind of like get equal rights. Okay, what exactly it means, and what is exactly right, and what exactly is this stuff? Okay, first of all, let's talk about the basic thing that everyone gets. Everyone gets like that ki any user login through my application, login through Google, they are kind of like see all the artifact. Okay, yeah. Now they have a kind of like a listen people's artifact. Okay, yeah. Now they could like they could kind of like listen their artifact. Okay, yeah. And if they wanted to provide the comment and things, you have to listen entirely. Then after that, comment button enable. After comment enable, you kind of like put the comment, things and that. You kind of like save, same thing. Okay, yeah. Now let's talk about the recording. You record the artifact. Okay, yeah. You talk about something. Okay, and you kind of like publish your artifact. So the kind of like a obvious question arise that how many views I will gonna get. Okay, yeah. So basically, let me clear first of all. The artifact is not a piece of content. It's not a kind of like a YouTube video, or it's not a kind of like an Instagram reel. You are recording artifact for yourself, not somebody. Okay, yeah. So you have to understand this thing. So do not chase views, do not chase like, do not chase no. Like basically is this thing, one of the biggest value is that you have to record the artifact. When user are kind of like a record the artifact, they will kind of like a feel that value. Okay, yeah. And basically do not chase the views and things and that and that. Okay. And basically at the early stage, okay, I will not gonna recommend your artifact to the more and more people. Why? Because I wanted to understand you. Okay, means what exactly understand you means what? Okay, there are a couple of factors will gonna happen. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that key, if you are talking something really good, really great, and you have a kind of like a something really great, then your thoughts are really great. Like what exactly great means what? Talking good means what? Like okay, let's talk about talking bad means what. Let's just understand that, then we kind of like define talking good is what. Talking bad means like that ki basically is this thing, let's just say you are kind of like a blaming somebody, okay, or kind of like a hate speeches, political kind of like a something opinion or things and that and that and that. Is it bad thing? Well, it's not really bad thing, but it's not a kind of like a good thing too. As I mentioned, this is artifact. You are not should supposed to be record that what does this like this political party did that, this regional did that. Nothing really at all. Tell your story, tell your stuff, tell what exactly happened, tell your thoughts, tell about you, not other about other. Obviously we've been through kind of like a lot of situation that we are wanting to talk about something and someone and things and that and that. Okay, do it, we all are human, things and that and that. But still, one of the really important thing is that you have to be record artifact for yourself. Okay, that is only most important thing. Do not record artifact for somebody. If you are kind of like a recording artifact for somebody, then that is not the artifact. Okay, do not do this thing. Just like basically is this thing at the beginning you are kind of like a bitterly confused, because artifact is a kind of like a things that people don't renew and that, and it's a kind of like a very new concept. Okay, yeah, because most of people kind of like a seeing that artifact is a kind of like a piece of content for the people. No, it's not for the people, it's just for you, you are kind of like a recording artifact regarding about something so tell about you, tell about what exactly is this thing, your thoughts and things and that and that. Now why am I kind of like a telling you this thing is because of that when you kind of like a tell about yourself, you will know about yourself more. Example, let's just say I ask the question like basically in my application it kind of like a provided bunch of questions. Okay, yeah. So in that question I will kind of like ask the question, or app will kind of like ask the question. Okay, simple thing. Okay, let's just say basically it kind of like asks the question regarding about that ki what is exactly your opinion regarding about Newton and Einstein. Now basically I already mentioned that ki kind of like a somebody talking about somebody is a not really right thing, but still Newton and Einstein is a kind of like a something that kind of like a something add value, because these are the people who are kind of like a put lot of contribution in science. So basically your opinion is not personal attack, your opinion is always been kind of like associated with the scientific point of perspective. Okay, so if I ask this question you will kind of like give the answer, maybe whatever the knowledge that you have regarding about Newton and Einstein and things and that, just tell it. And when you said something like that, you will understand yourself that ki I know more about this particular stuff. Like literally, like sometimes when I kind of like record the artifact, sometimes I didn't really know I'm kind of like talking something like that shit that it just like, oh my god. Okay, so sometimes I just kind of like proud of myself or things and that, I'm not really sure. But when you kind of like talk about that key, kind of like tell me which kind of like a scientist do you like the most, Einstein or Newton? then you kind of like assembly that key, you are kind of like a judging regarding about that key, what exactly contribution they does and how much it kind of like impact on society, things and that. It add value in you. You understand the science much more. Okay, like basically bunch of kind of like assembly question that kind of like assembly. I ask such a question that matter to you, that add value to you. Okay, and because of this thing, you will kind of like talk about something. You understand about you something. You understand about the kind of like assembly life. You understand regarding about the kind of like a people. You understand regarding about you. You understand regarding about your surrounding and things and that. The value, it started from when you record the artifact, and that's what I want, that you should supposed to be record artifact. Okay, yeah. Now if you are really wanted that how many views do I get, so basically it's not a views, it's a kind of like a something resonate. Okay, yeah, that how many people are kind of like a resonate with you. What's a resonate? A resonate means like that when you telling a story, how many people are kind of like a feel like a basically resonate is means like okay, yeah, and listen means how many people actually listen. So instead of views, like in the YouTube it has a kind of like a views, in a artifact it has a kind of like a listen, how many listen do I get. Okay, it depends on kind of like a, first of all is that, as I mentioned, the privacy is a kind of like utmost essential thing. So I will not gonna kind of like somebody share your artifact to your surrounding. Let's just say every people kind of like speak very local language and things and that. Let's talk about the India. In India, let's just say a particular person who kind of like speak Marathi. Oh yeah. So basically this thing, you are from Nashik, you are kind of like a recording artifact in Marathi. So I am kind of like making sure that your artifact will not kind of like spread into the Nashik. Your artifact will kind of like spread into the other part of Maharashtra. Okay, because if I kind of like spread your artifact into the Nashik, probably people might gonna find out and things and that. Okay, how do I know that your artifact actually came from Nashik? Because of the location, because I am taking the information from you, from where the location is actually uploaded from, to kind of like making sure that the privacy I would kind of like provide that much. All right, so this is it. Now if you are kind of like a recording artifact in English language, then it would be kind of like a much more better for you. I will kind of like provide much more kind of like a privacy. Means like that, let's just say if you are from Maharashtra, you are recording artifact in English language, then what is actually happened that I will kind of like recommend your artifact to the people who are kind of like understand English more. So basically I would kind of like somebody share your artifact to the not only into the kind of like a Maharashtra, but as well as other part of the kind of like a country, or maybe out of the country, or things and that. Okay, yeah, but depends on how you talk. Does it kind of like a matter, like basically does other people resonate or not, does it feel really good or not, does your kind of like a story does matter to them or not, things and that. Okay, yeah, but if you are talking about something really bad and things, obviously your artifact will not gonna recommend to the more. Regarding about the fairness, what is actually fairness that I'm providing? The fairness that I'm providing is that you are kind of like a something is this thing, you just record artifact. Okay, yeah, as like a basically as good as possible as it is, and do not talk about kind of like a something that like a like create wrong things. Like as I mentioned, I already mentioned every single time, whatever you will gonna talk in artifact, higher possible chances that you will become that particular person. So if you talk something really good, you will become something really good. If you talk something bad, you will become something bad. Okay, so basically is this thing, it's not about views, it's not about listen, it's not about kind of like how many people, things and that. Okay, yeah, it just important thing is that it will add value in you. Okay, yeah. Now another thing is that let's talk about the money. Okay, yeah, because usually is this thing, people wants to money. Okay, yeah, so monetization, how will kind of like a monetization actually happen? I already talk about the monetization, but at the beginning I will not gonna enable the monetization. I will kind of like making sure that let the people who should support me record the artifact, because I already talk about the monetization program, how it will gonna happen, how the user will kind of like earn money and things and that I already mentioned. Okay, so I will not gonna talk about that. Regarding about the kind of like a AI fairness. So does AI kind of like a fairness a lot? Well, let's talk about something which is kind of like a very much confusing regarding about this particular stuff. Okay. So basically, is this thing, as I mentioned, every artifact is actually judged by the Adam. Adam is the AI. Okay. Now, why does kind of like every artifact actually judged by AI? Well, judgment of system is actually based on 30-70 ratio. 70% judged by the people, 30% judged by the kind of like a something. 30% actually judged by kind of like a AI. Okay, now let's talk about the how does people will judge. Okay, so people will judge regarding about how many people watch your artifact. Okay, yeah, and kind of like how many people kind of like your artifact, and how many people put the comment. Okay, like same stacks used in the kind of like a YouTube, same stack I will gonna use for kind of like a artifact, but that contribution is only 70%. Okay, and AI is a kind of like a 30% of kind of like a things is kind of like a judged by the AI, specifically Adam. So how does it kind of like simply judge? Okay, so one of the biggest thing is that usually people who kind of like record the artifact in their local language. Okay, usually they are kind of like speak their local language. Now I have to be kind of like a train Adam regarding about all the languages and things and that. Now Adam should supposed to be understand all the languages, speak across every language on the planet. So basically Adam should supposed to be know that thing, and probably Adam is kind of like a developed that much, like not only the Adam, but every AI is a kind of like a had enough to understand every languages, almost every languages. Okay, now what I should supposed to do is that whatever the people who actually record, okay, yeah, transcript into the kind of like a audio into the text, whatever the text actually happened, understand the context. If the person who's actually talking about something, so what is actually something, is it right thing, wrong thing, and things and that. If the people who are kind of like a record artifact in their local language, so basically assessing AI should supposed to be understand. Adam will try to understand what is actually that particular person say, what is actually this means and things and that. Adam will learn from kind of like whatever the people who kind of like a record. Adam will learn from it, understand the context. Okay, yeah, and from that context it kind of like simply give the kind of like a judgment. Like if they kind of like give the judgment regarding about 10 out of maybe it just says 7, and the in the 70% ratio 10 out of maybe 8, so your artifact will kind of like a record, like a kind of like a recommend to the more and more people. Okay, basically this judgment is kind of like simply always been updated regarding about how many people are kind of like a resonate and things and that. Adam tried to do a lot of kind of like I didn't build the algorithm at the moment, but regarding about I'm gonna make sure that algorithm kind of like simply push such a piece of content that add value into the people life. Okay, and kind of like making sure that privacy should supposed to be maintained. Okay, so this is a kind of like I will kind of like do that thing. Right now I'm not really tired, by the way, but I'm kind of like really scared that I might gonna eat bug. Why? Because of that, I think I might gonna, there is a lot of bug over here. Okay, and I don't want to eat any kind of like a bug. So this is it. Okay, yeah. Regarding about the AI fairness, I will try to make sure that everyone kind of like a get equal opportunity for everything. Okay, like a biasness or kind of like a fairness. Like basically, if you record artifact properly in things and that, your artifact will recommend to the more. If you talk something really bad and things, your artifact will kind of like only recommend to the less. Important thing is that making sure that you will not kind of like mention other people name. Like privacy actually come from you. If you are not protecting yourself, how do I supposed to protect you? Okay, so protect yourself first. Do not mention your name, nothing really at all. Talk something really good with honesty. Okay, like whatever, like it's not really that like you are human, we are human, we've been through kind of like so many situations and things and that. whatever you want to talk, just be you. Okay, just, yeah, but do not mention other people's name. That's the only thing. Okay. And yeah, everything will kind of like grow and things. Now regarding about money and things and that, I already mentioned regarding about how does people will earn money from my application. I already talked about this thing in previous 35 episode, but still, right now, this is it. I will gonna end here. By the way, tomorrow I'm actually going to kind of like out of the city, probably for almost like a 2-3 days. Probably I might not gonna record artifact, or I will. I'm not really sure. So this is it. I have to be end here. And thank you.